Hi, I'm Hub Arkish, along with Pro Football Weekly senior editor Eric Edholm, and it is our great pleasure this week to report to you live from New Orleans at Super Bowl XLVII. And we've talked a lot in our various video pieces about the key players, the guys who will make an impact on this game, but possibly the two guys who have the biggest impact on this game really haven't been discussed much at all this week, and those are the two general managers. Some believe the two best general managers in the National Football League right now. Now, Ozzie Newsome has been running the Ravens for a long time, is universally acknowledged as one of the top, if not the best GMs in football. Trent Baalke, however, not nearly as well known, and yet, Eric, the job he has done building this 49er club over the last 3 years is just phenomenal.
Oh, and it's a theme across the NFL, too. I mean, we saw so many GM changes this year. It's only fitting that we have two of the best scouting staffs, and I think really the four championship teams in the AFC and NFC, including the Patriots as well and Atlanta, their front offices are incredible, and they've built those staffs from the bottom up. Teams are calling for these guys for interviews, for GM jobs, scouting jobs. And Baalke's one of the best. You know, we know his roots, came from kind of humble beginnings, was an athletic director, and yet he's out there kind of setting the pace in the NFL. These drafts he's put together, he's trusted his scouts, and they've just brought in a haul, especially on the offensive line. I think, scouts have often said it's easy to evaluate the offensive lineman. Do they block the guy or not? In their case, they do.
We're going to talk a little bit more, particularly about the 2010 and 2011 college drafts of Trent Baalke, but I want to come back to Ozzie Newsome for just a minute because he's universally acknowledged as the wizard around the National Football League. And everybody remembers the first picks. Those are easy to, well, they're not easy to make, but they're easier for some than others. But you look at the way that he's built this roster and the way he consistently finds the Torrey Smiths, the Bernard Pierces, the Marshall Yandas, the Paul Krugers. He puts together a complete 53-man roster. It's not just getting the Joe Flacco's and the Ray Rices in the first round.
Yeah, Pernell McPhee, Dannell Ellerbe. I mean, some of these guys are undrafted people. I mean, it's amazing what they've done. They fill certain needs through free agency. Vontae Leach, they need a big fullback. Let's go get him. There are other players certainly they go out and get, but the draft is where they've built this team. Ozzie's first two picks were Ray Lewis and Jonathan Ogden. Can you get any better than that? It really set off what I think is going to be a Hall of Fame career as an executive. I mean, he's a great tight end, a great talent evaluator as well. It's pretty amazing.
Now let's talk specifically about 2010 for Trent Baalke and the San Francisco 49ers. How about starting with Anthony Davis, then plugging in Mikey Iupati? You follow that with Navarro Bowman, and then you add an Anthony Dixon. That's not a bad haul for one draft.
Oh, and Bowman to me is so interesting. I mean, because his first year didn't get to play a lot, was sitting behind Takeo Spikes. He got his opportunity. This season, he might have been better than Patrick Willis on the field. Now, Willis has stepped it up, obviously, in the postseason as well, but Navarro Bowman is a huge part of what they do defensively, and I think it's been just a great cog for their defense and a guy who doesn't get enough credit, frankly.
You have a draft like that, and then Baalke comes back in 2011. Well, you got a little Colin Kaepernick, not bad. Of course, that was after you got Aldon Smith. You plug in a Chris Culliver, a Bruce Miller. It's unbelievable what Baalke has gotten out of the draft in the last couple seasons.
The patience of getting a quarterback. They needed one. There was no question about it. Alex Smith was still there, but they wanted somebody to come in, a young guy they could develop. Jim Harbaugh being a quarterback guy. Everyone assumed they were going to go Blaine Gabbert at 7. Instead, they go with his Missouri teammate, wait till the second round. They tried to trade up to that 32nd pick. Bill Belichick asked for the moon. They said no way. They were patient, and they got their guy. It's pretty amazing how they pulled that off.
It really is, and Nolan Naraki, of course, our senior editor and lead talent evaluator at Pro Football Weekly, follows the draft like nobody. Tells a great story about how Al Davis was trying desperately to trade up to get in front of the 49ers. He knew what they were going to do. Now, say what you want about Al Davis. Towards the end, the results weren't always as great, but this is a legendary talent evaluator, and the fact that Baalke was able to beat the master, still get the guy he wanted in the second round, you see how it's turned out now. I think it speaks volumes about where this guy is among NFL GMs.
Yeah, and I mean, just another case of the Niners kind of upping, the Oakland Raiders, and another tough season, obviously. But Al knew talent, he knew rare talent, he knew special athletes. That's what Colin Kaepernick was. What other people saw, he wasn't. Trent Baalke and Jim Harbaugh saw what he was, and they've made him into a great player. He's made the most of it.
We've heard so much this week about the Har Bowl, and it's easy to focus on Terrell Suggs and Ray Lewis and Haloti Ngata and Joe Flacco and Ray Rice. And of course, you look on the other side, and Patrick Willis and Justin Smith and Frank Gore have been there forever. But you look at the jobs these two GMs have done. When you talk about Super Bowl XLVII, the names you may want to remember most are Ozzie Newsome and Trent Baalke. For Pro Football Weekly and Eric Edholm, I'm Hub Arkish. For all the best in news, notes, and analysis, everything you need to enjoy the game as much as possible. Stay right where you are 24 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at ProFootballWeekly.com.